Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to step out of the shadow and into the sunlight. On behalf of CISO Community in Netherlands, a very warm welcome to the very, very first edition of CISODAY. The room is packed, so the beginning is already great. The program, ladies and gentlemen, is very high speed. So without further ado, I would like to continue with the program. As I said, on behalf of the entire CISO community, welcome, very happy to have you here. And from now on, we will dedicate one day every year to celebrate the Chief Information Security Officer. Because what you do matters, and what you do will matter even more in the future. So keep that in mind during the day. And to make this day possible, a tremendous amount of work has been done by the teams of the CISO community and ICT Media. And of course, this day is made possible by all our generous partners. So thank you, all the partners here in the room. A little bit of an enthusiast. Okay. Thank you very much. Then, as I mentioned before, the program is very high speed. So without further ado, I would like to introduce the founding fathers of the CISO community Netherlands. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Rob Bijleveld and Mr. Dimitri van Zandvliet. Dimitri, and there's Rob. Rob Bijleveld is CEO and owner of Dutch media and event firm ICT Media. And Dimitri van Zandvliet is a cybersecurity director and also CISO of the Dutch Railways. Dimitri, to start with you, why this new community in the Netherlands?
Yeah, why now? And I think the question is, why not earlier?
Okay.
And if you look at 1995, I think Citibank was appointing Steve Katz as the first CISO. That's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he died, he passed away last year. But I think in the 30 years, if you look at what's happened, it's amazing, right? If you look at the attack surface, it has increased. Everyone is hyper-connected. Everyone has APIs all over the place, shadow APIs even. We don't have shadow APIs.
Yeah. So that's because you stepped out of the shadow.
Out of the shadow.
Yeah,
everything is exactly. If you look at the threat landscape, it's decreased. It's exploded it's if you look at the war in Ukraine, in Gaza, I think you have $10.6 trillion of cyber crime last year was calculated. And then the last part is the legislation. I think there's about 12 European cyber laws that at least we have to deal with. Yeah. It's like a tsunami. So what I'm trying to say is cybersecurity is Chefsache and it's Boardsache.
It's Boardsache, Chefsache, Rob. Dimitri said the community is still very young. If you look at the room, well, that's true.
You could debate about that.
No. Let's keep it nice. But the community, on the other hand, is 30 years old, and it took you 30 years to build this day.
No, not this one, I guess.
Okay.
No, I guess that the fun part started 24 years ago with the CFO community, 20 years ago with the CEO community. It went a little long to start this community, right? But I guess we are starting, A, and B, I think in terms of urgency, so all elements will be said today. But I think one of the most essential things today is that also the digital transformations of many organizations are at risk if we will not get this right. That is my thought.
And that's why it's Chefsache. It has to be mentioned in the boardroom, the boardroom of every company. Also, of course, the Dutch Railways. What's your aim with this community? What are the ambitions, the goals? What do you want to achieve?
I think that there's a slide with ambition and goals, and I think what's not on there, but the most important thing is that people get to know each other better, because I think when the shit hits the fan, to say it in French, you need to connect to each other. You need to have people on your speed dial, people that you trust, people that you can share information with, and that you can learn to mitigate and remediate. So speed and connections, I think that's the most important part of today, and I think the agenda that we will build together.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to build on this community. Rob, what are the plans for the future? What do you want to achieve?
Well, I guess a couple of things. So let's see that what we have built already, right? So we got this open community and we got this closed communities. So to say it's an association in terms of the CISO platform Netherlands. And I think what we need to build is an enriched environment where you can share not only from a physical perspective like we do this, but also, of course, from an online perspective. So we will commit ourselves is to drive that harsh, right? To get all those informations and to share. And that's what we'll do with a new portal. And of course, my team with Piet Hein and with Floor as a community manager, you will see them also in the hallway with a great screen launching that portal and getting the memberships in, right?
Yeah.
Because we need to be a stakeholder.
We need members. Who is already a member of the CISO community? Please raise your hand. So about 50, I guess, if I round it up a bit. So the rest of the audience isn't member yet.
Target audience, right?
This is target audience. Yeah. But they have to register, of course, to become a member of this community.
Yeah, I think the threshold now is very low. It's a non-paid membership, and you can receive the email and the spam from the vendors, of course. But you know, coming months, we will work together with the community to set up an agenda where we will look at education, look at deep dives in specific topics. Of course, several events that you can attend. So the agenda has to be built together.
Yeah, and of course you are very open to suggestions from the community to
Definitely,
build
yes,
this agenda. Rob, as I mentioned, this is also the very first CISODAY, so if people in the room have suggestions for the program of next year, please find Rob or myself or some other crew member.
Absolutely, we are so happy with some firm criticism, right? I'm so happy with that. No, just kidding.
Okay.
We are learning every day on that. And just fun, we had a conversation with the nominees about, is this an appeltje eitje after 20 years CIODAY? No, it isn't an appeltje eitje. You have to be awake each and every time.
Yeah, for our international guest, Apple and Egg. Yeah. And the nominees you were talking about, they are here in front of us. They are, of course, nominee for CISO of the Year. And in a few hours, to be precise, this evening around 8 o'clock, we will know who of the 5 nominees will have the first title of CISO of the Year. Yep. Famous last words, Rob, before we continue the program?
No, I would say register and let's kick some ass here, right?
Let's kick some ass. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Heideveld, thank you. And Dimitri stays with me because you're, of course, you're a board member of the CISO community, and there are a lot of other board members, and I would like to invite them to the stage as well to ask them some questions. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Madi Aburazak, Justin Broeders, and Lucela Tepirik. Welcome. Of course, well, together with Rob, you're the board of the CISO community. You're all CISOs, so let me introduce you. Madi, to start with you, you hold the position of Group Information Security and Risk Officer at SHV Energy, a leading global distributor of off-grid energy. I would like you to answer this question. In your role, you are responsible for, among other things, stakeholder management. Which parties do you want to collaborate and why?
I think we would like to cooperate with everyone that matters in security. So that means all stakeholders, be it corporates, government, semi-government, public institutions, actually anyone that can contribute to make Netherlands secure together.
Yeah, to make secure together, so with the whole community.
Yes, exactly.
Every part counts. Dimitri, what are then the objectives of the community? Rob mentioned a few things, but what would you like to add?
So I think the first objective is to get together and to set up a community. And when we started this, I think 7 months ago, we had 40 CISOs in a room, 35. And you know, we started with a board, and then we had the idea to have an extended board and even, you know, set up working groups to cater for all the needs there are, such as specific education, but also if you look at the room, you see different maturity levels, and some of us, you know, have 30 years experience. We can guide the younger ones, and so set up a buddy and a peer group.
Very good idea, buddy in a peer group.
Exactly. Yeah. Look at the slides. There's too much.
There's too much to tell. Justin,
tell.
I would like to ask you a question as well. You're a CISO at the Dutch Ministry of Finance, and you're also part of the central government CISO Council. So you know a lot on how keeping the Dutch government safe.
I hope so.
I hope so as well, as a Dutch taxpayer. So please do so. Which topics do you want to cover this year from the from your role from the CISO Experience Group?
Yeah, I think for the...
It's on.
It's on? Okay.
Yeah.
I think for the CISO experience groups, I think a lot of topics are coming towards us. I think for European law, there's very much such as NIS2, CERA, CER, and I think it's working now.
Yeah. Maybe you have to start answering the question one more time.
Let's check how I said that. But I think from a lot of perspectives that there is a lot coming towards us. So from law in the European Union, think about NIS2, but also to make that more practical. I think a lot of us, I think also myself, struggle with the fact in how do I scope this legislation and to make it really work for the company.
I can imagine everybody in the room has trouble making NIS2 practical instead of being part of that legislation, because you have to, obviously.
So what are the layers you draw, and what amount of detail you start? And I think that's something we could also share together. I think that's a lot of experience here in the room, but also in the sessions we want to have
Thank you.
To share.
Thank you. Then finally, let's elaborate a bit more on the CISO of the Year election. Luisuela, you're CISO of the Regional Grid Operator for Electricity and Gas stayed in, and also manager of the CIO office. You're one of the jury committee members. What can you say about the process? Of course, don't reveal the winner
No,
now.
I won't. I promise.
Because then we have a problem this evening.
No, I won't. I won't. I promise. The process was wonderfully interesting and fun to do.
Okay.
And I think that, especially for the nominees, I think it was a brutal process, because they didn't just get a handout prize. They went through assessments. They went through interviews. Wow. They had to have a pitch. They wrote a research paper, and they were all assessed on different aspects of the CISO role, like strategic thinking or what's your leadership type. And what made it very fun for me is that not only was it very inspiring to hear their stories, but it also made me even more eager to share my experience. But it also was a reconfirmation that there is no such thing as the CISO. Every CISO role is different, depending on the type of organization, the maturity of the organization, but also on the personality of the person who is doing the CISO role. Everybody does it differently. So that made it really interesting, and that also made it very difficult.
Very challenging to pick a winner.
Exactly. Yeah. So how do you compare apples and peaches?
Yeah.
I mean, it's very different. But we managed.
Apples and eggs,
managed
apples
to
and
do
peaches.
so.
Yeah,
apples and peaches. Apples.
Yeah.
I like peaches better than apples.
Okay.
So, pears.
So the peaches and the nominees have
Yeah, we managed to do so. We won't tell you. We won't tell you just yet. Yeah, I think I said something that usually you don't say, but it's inside in my character. I mess things up in verbs and stuff like that, but it doesn't matter. Now I lost my text, but it doesn't matter either. Peaches. I'll just give it a go. We were peaches.
You were talking about peaches, but
so we're choosing the
anyway,
best peach.
Yeah,
the best peach tonight.
May the best peach win. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now I have no idea what I'm babbling about this time, but I'm sure you'll have a great day, and I'm just very excited to be here, and I'm very happy that you are all here. So hang on for the cliffhanger, just a few more hours more, especially those 5 too, and have a great day.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the board members of the CISO community. Thanks again. And as mentioned, the nominees are here on the front row, being a bit nervous, and in about 1 hour we will see them here, because they will give a pitch over here, and you can tell us everything about your role as a CISO.